Money and girls, the number one problem for men in the world. I know y'all like how I worded that together, how I put that together, you feel me? How I made it rhyme and coagulate and stuff like that. If that's even the right word, right? But before I get in, too further into this video, I just want to put out a quick, message or disclaimer, you could say. This video is inspired by Denmo. If you see me looking to the side back and forth throughout this video, I have notes right on the left of me. I have a script that I got written down, but like I said, this video is inspired by Denmo. He is another, self-improvement, man of spirit type of, content creator, here on YouTube. I'm gonna make sure to leave his video, link down in the description below. If you guys want to check that video out first, then come back to this. Like I said, that's where I got this topic from and where I got the inspiration to do this video from. So make sure you guys check that out too, whenever you get a chance, right? But like I said, going back to the title, right? Money and girls, the number one problem for men in the world, right? Now you may be asking, just from the title, right? Why is this such a problem, right? Why is this, the number one problem, for young men and men in today's society in general, right? And, this is what I think about it, right? You want to feel validated by your peers and the people around you. That's why I say, that this is, the number one problem. And a problem from mostly young men in today's society in general, right? Everybody, as much as they may try to make it seem like they don't care, especially just as people in general, right? We all want to feel validated. We all want to feel like we're doing something right, like we're doing something good in the world, right? And we want others to see that, and we want to be, congratulated. We want to be noticed. We want to be, brought to the light about that. We want to know that other people notice the good and the things that we're doing in the world, if that made sense, right? Like I said, you want to feel validated by your peers and the people around you. I feel like that's really one of the number one things and one of the number one to this problem, right? You know what I mean? You want to be able to feel like every aspect of your life is being fulfilled, right? Everything that you may have going on, as far as your daily task or, as far as self-improvement in general, right? Making sure you're taking care of your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health. You know what I mean? You want to have an abundance, or abundant social life, right? You want to be able to have a thriving and good social life. And you also want to have, romantic relationships, whether that be just with one person or with multiple partners. Hey, do whatever you got to do, my guy. Do you. If you want multiple, hey, go after it. If you want one, go after that one, right? But everybody want to feel like, the whole pie chart, of everything, every aspect that they got going on in life is being filled out or being worked on in some type of aspect, right? Especially the main two that have to do with the title, right? When it comes to finances and women, especially as a young man, right? You know what I mean? You want to be able to take care of your family and yourself financially, right? Not having to worry about, the next meal that you're gonna have, not having to worry about your bills, your car note, how much gas you're gonna be able to put in the tank. You know what I mean? You want to be able to feel like, your standing within society looks good, right? You want to be able to seem like, you're making a way, right? That you're actually doing something and, you're actually getting somewhere in life, right? You got something going on for yourself. I feel like, especially with me and just young men in general, right? You want to feel like you got something going on with your life, especially if you're trying to provide to somebody else, whether that be through, friendships, with your family or a romantic relationship, right? and just the worldview in general, right? You want to feel like you have something going for yourself and you making a name, making a way for yourself, right? So like I said, you want to be able to feel like your standing within society looks good, and you want to be able to attract and talk to women, right? Obviously, if you swing the other way, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, do your thing, right? But obviously, as a young man, especially you coming up in today's society, you got the pressure from, people in your family, close friends, people in just your circle in general, and just, the overall worldview, right? You want to be able to attract and talk to females because, you want to be able to attract and talk to females, especially, so you could try to keep your standings within your family and within your social circle and your friends in a good state, right? You want to be able to prove that you're worthy to your friends, right? Say for instance, can use me as an example, right? I'm not too far removed from high school, or I could use it in the college sense, right? It's you and your buddies, you know what I mean? Y'all may be at the lunch table, y'all may be in the classroom, or y'all may just be hanging out outside of that area, right? And, your friends is telling you about how many females they done knocked down in the past couple weeks, in the past couple months. You know what I mean? What they did to this female, what they did to that female, which female they dating, they got their friend, whatever, in your circle, you may be hearing about people, bragging and, flexing and talking about all the stuff that they done, right? And that could maybe start to get projected onto you and pushed onto you, especially when you're somebody who may not have a lot of experience and somebody who may not be seen or, shown to have a lot of romantic relationships with women, right? Who may not, have an abundance of women, you know what I mean? You may talk to a couple here and few, or you may not be having really anything going on at all, right? And like I said, that could be projected onto you and put onto you, especially when you have those type of friends or you have those type of dudes in your social circle who tend to brag more, who tend to, talk about the stuff that they do and the females that they've been with. That may get put on to you, and they may be asking, when you gonna get a girl, bruh? When you gonna lose your virginity? You know what I mean? When you gonna start talking to girls? Is you gay? Do you even like girls? You know what I mean? And you may start to get teased. You may start to feel less than as a man, less than as a human in general, because you see all your friends doing this. You see everybody in your social circle around school, you know what I mean, or whatever it may be, having romantic relationships. All the romantic relationships in their life is going successful and going in a good state. While you, on the other hand, your relationships or aspect of your life may not be, as fulfilled or where you would want it to be, right? And that could start to mess with your mental health. That could start to mess with your self-worth and how you feel about yourself, as a human being, and it's just as a man in general, right? Because you want to prove to them, that you can have romantic relationships. You can, have a girlfriend, or you can, lose your virginity, whatever the goal may be, right? Because you don't want them to have, that information on you, right? You don't want them to keep bringing that up and using that against you, especially when it's starting to tear at your self-worth and your mental health, right? So you may start to try to prove yourself and, try to prove your worth, not even to, the friends and, just associates that's in your social circle, but even your family, right? Even some of your family may start to get on your head or start to get on you because they see you not, bringing up women. They see you not talking about girls or bringing around girls, talking to girls on the phone, or just even mentioning, you talking to a girl in the first place or whatever, right? So you may start to feel like you gotta prove your worth to them too, you know what I mean, in order to hold your place in, the social aspect of life, right? So you may feel yourself starting to do that. You may see yourself starting to do that, especially, like I said, when it starts to attack, at your self-worth. And, I guess you could say even your ego as a man, right? So that's why I feel like, this is such a problem, especially for young men in today's society, right? So with that part being said, right, what do you focus on then, right? What did you decide to put more emphasis in? What do you decide to put more energy in? Does it, fall more into the money aspect? Finding and figuring out more ways to make money? Or do you focus your attention on, pursuing females and pursuing romantic relationships, and trying to fill out that aspect in your life, right? And my answer to this, what I say to this is, it really depends on the person and what they prioritize, more in that moment, right? So for instance, I'm gonna use myself as an example, right? I have a job right now. I won't say what that job is, just for my my personal business, and just keeping that to myself, right? But I have a job right now, right? So I have some type of money in my pocket. I have some type of money coming in. So it's not too much of a stress factor. It's not too much of something that's, bogging down and weighing down on my mind. So, I could kind of low-key put it to the side and not have to prioritize it and worry about it so much, right? But in the back of my head, I know it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I know that on top of that, it's not going to make me enough to, live a decent life, or, have the type of decent life that I would want to have, right? Not nothing that's too extreme, but just the normal things, right? Owning a house, having a car, you know what I mean? Being able to get nice things. Not saying that I need the nicest of things, all the designer, all the Louis V and Gucci and all that type of stuff. I don't really care for all that designer stuff anyways, right? But just, to have the normal things that people would want and desire in life, right? Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get to that, at the job that I'm working at right now, right? But in a sense, and on another note on top of that, right, I really have little experience with women, up until this point that I'm at right now, right, at this age, at 20 years old, right? So with that example, you could use that and kind of see where I might end up on the spectrum, or see what side I may delve into a little bit more versus the other, right? So like I said, you know what I mean, with that example, I could, just put the money to the side on the low key and not really focus on it. But in the back of my head, I know that obviously if I want to live the type of lifestyle that I imagine and that I, fantasize in my head, obviously me staying at this job isn't going to get me to the point to where I want to get at, right? So I could delve in and, start to put more forth attention into that and put forth more energy into that. But on the other hand, like I said, I really don't have that much experience with women at the age of 20 years old, right? Very little, if I'm being completely honest and just vulnerable, with y'all. I really don't, come on here to lie and fabricate anything anyways, right? So in my case, one might say, oh, well, you should focus, on the woman aspect. You should focus on trying to form relationships with women, trying to, get a relationship, trying to get more comfortable and getting out of my comfort zone and going up and talking to women first. But like I said, with this section of the video, it really depends on the person, what they prioritize, versus the two, and what they want to go after in that moment, right? So that's number 2 right there.